Hi, everybody. My name is Rafa Lombardino, and this is Translation Confessional. This is a quick message for all tech-oriented translators and interpreters out there. Let me tell you a bit about Appsumo. It's pretty much a hub for different apps and online programs that can help you streamline your work and become more productive and efficient. They have solutions in different categories: client management, marketing, productivity, sales, SEO, social media, and web development, in case you need help putting together a professional website that will make you stand out. They have different deals going on, so you can pay just a fraction of what these apps and programs go for in the real marketplace. Make sure you subscribe to their newsletter so you can stay on top of the new deals and tools that are constantly added up to their list. Well, if you'd like to check out Appsumo yourself, go to this webpage, bit.ly/tc-app-sumo. It's easy to remember. TC for Translation Confessional, then Appsumo. Once again, the webpage is bit.ly/tc-app-sumo. Hope you like it. Subtle marketing. I have a client who always sends me very specific projects. Their biggest client account is a worldwide beverage company that periodically needs English to Portuguese translations about their products and some events that they host in different parts of the world. Sometimes this large beverage company also needs Portuguese to English translations for reports concerning trademark violations. In other words, when working into Portuguese, I often translate some authorization forms for the company to use the image of event participants on their website and social media, for example, as well as some rules about these events they organized. When working into English, I translate what their team has written about smaller competitors who may be trying to mislead consumers with a product that has a similar name or label while taking advantage of brand recognition. Okay, why am I telling you all this? Because my client started to receive more creative content, especially about books, art exhibits, and theater productions. And they wondered if I would be able to help them with these Portuguese to English projects as well. I really enjoy creative projects like these, which are similar to what I work on for other clients. I always learn so much about history and the cultural, social, and political context that inspire artists to come up with something new. I'm always eager to switch gears when it comes to taking turns between technical projects and more creative ones. Recently, this client of mine sent me the transcript of a conversation between two authors from Portugal who admired this one actress and theater director who adapted their books to stage productions. Once I delivered the translation, my client asked me to explain one of the sentences I had translated. The client said that another translator was working on the same material, but translating it from Portuguese into German, and they had a hard time understanding not only that sentence in particular, but the overall content. It's so confusing, disconnected, incomplete, the client said, paraphrasing their German translator. The first thing that came to mind was, is the translator used to working with content from Brazil by any chance? Maybe that's why this conversation between two authors from Portugal may be coming across as odd. I then explained to the client how Brazilian and European Portuguese are different. I told them I have an easy time translating materials from Portugal, even though I'm from Brazil, because I have worked with similar content in the past and have been collaborating with the same European Portuguese translator for 17 years now. Besides, I keep close contact with peers in Portugal, which has helped me to further understand the nuanced differences between my Brazilian Portuguese and their European Portuguese. So much so that I don't have a problem understanding what I receive from Portugal and need to translate into English. My client was surprised to learn that 2 different translations were required from English to Portuguese, one targeting a Brazilian audience and one targeting an European audience. And I didn't even have a chance to explain that African countries like Mozambique and Angola speak Portuguese too. Since that exchange, the client started to request 2 sets of into Portuguese translations for some of their projects too. The client was also surprised to learn that I had experience with more artsy projects, since we had always worked on those boring event rules, photo release forms, IT-related instructions on how to sign up for an event using a website or a phone app, besides those reports on trademark infringement. So, during the same interaction, I took the opportunity to let my client know that I also work on subtitling projects and had recently worked on some TV shows that highlight tourist attractions in Portugal and Italy, and inevitably cover subjects related to the history, arts, literature, culture, cuisine, and traditions of worldwide destinations. Have you ever misquoted a translation client because you couldn't find the rate in your email? Or missed a deadline because somehow the job got lost in your inbox? You're not alone. Too many translators manage everything manually from their inbox or Excel sheets. While they may think that they're saving time and money by not getting a software, the opposite is true. LSP Expert saves translators hours a week by letting them manage clients, projects, and finances all in one place. You can create and send quotes, manage your rates and services for each client, manage projects, and send invoices all from one place. It automatically creates financial reports for you, so you always know the health of your business. Ready to stop wasting time on admin and start spending more time translating? Try LSP Expert for free for 30 days. Just type lsp.expert into your preferred browser and use the code HAFA for 15% off a new yearly subscription. Once again, the code is RAFA. Take control of your translation business admin today. So this client has seen me more as a technical translator, considering the kind of project we had worked on together for almost a decade. Month after month, all they saw was that I could work on website and mobile app localization and corporate materials for that large beverage company whose account they had secured. Once I realized that the client was genuinely interested and I saw a window open up, I let them know that I also translate from Spanish and Italian to Brazilian Portuguese or American English. Even though they have a copy of my resume and a link to my professional website, they most likely haven't had the opportunity to check everything out and learn exactly what it is that I do. Nor should I expect them to keep my information fresh in their minds after reading it on my resume, cover letter, or portfolio. All it took was a simple email exchange with what I consider a long-term client. That was enough for me to completely change their perspective about me as a resource that can help them with a variety of projects. What I did was use a subtle marketing strategy, and instead of bombarding them with a lot of information, I managed to identify the perfect moment to share my professional experiences with an existing client in a way that would truly stand out and make them think of my services whenever a new need arises. In other words, whether you're contacting a potential client or nurturing a long-term collaboration, you can't overwhelm them with information that will just look and sound like extra data. You must create a memorable connection instead of creating too much noise. because that's when a client most likely won't commit anything to memory, and you could become easily forgettable, a one-time sort of collaborator. This client in particular was already very friendly before I took the opportunity to use this subtle marketing technique. They'd always ask me what the weather is like here in San Diego, since they spend months covered in snow where they are in Europe. One time I mentioned I wasn't available to work on a weekend because I'd be out of town during my daughter's soccer tournament. So now my client often asks me how the kids are doing. Pre-COVID, they also opened up several email messages telling me where they're writing from, since they have to travel within Europe very often for work. One time they even shared that they were visiting their mother after a health scare. We also checked in on one another early during the COVID era to see if everyone was doing okay. In other words, throughout the years, our collaboration evolved from cold project management to a more cordial interaction. I cannot say we've become close friends, but there's an opening now that will lead to very concrete projects without making me sound desperate for new projects during a lull. Talking about the feast and famine nature of our profession, keep this subtle marketing strategy in mind when interacting with clients and peers during some downtime. Like I said, you don't want to overwhelm people with information about your services, nor do you want to sound desperate. That's not showing off your skills and positioning yourself. That's just begging for others to do the work for you when it comes to finding clients and projects. I've lost track of how many times people reach out to me asking for a job. I get unsolicited emails with resumes, I get private messages on social media, I get phone calls, I even get comments on my personal posts where freelancers try to promote their services in hopes that they'll get hired on the spot, either by me or by a fellow translator who is on my list of contacts. That's just a big no-no. Needless to say, I don't even hire people left and right to work on a translation project. No, I work with people I had a chance to talk to before establishing a collaboration. I've collaborated with colleagues of colleagues who are highly recommended, and that's how you do networking properly, by establishing connections and not asking people to send some projects your way, or even worse, send you a list of translation agencies or direct clients that may hire them. Oh my gosh, the nerve on some people, I tell you. Okay, if there's anything you should take away from this episode, is that you should not promote your services online that way, or you end up being blacklisted. Potential clients will just ignore you, and peers will see you as being desperate and unprofessional. So, I guess it bears repeating that the way you conduct yourself online or in person speaks volumes about your professionalism. You must aim for the kind of communication and social interaction that ends up being very organic and puts you, the service provider, in a better position as a problem solver in the eyes of your clients. Whenever someone needs something related to your field, that is, translation and languages, they'll think of you to see if you're available or could recommend someone to work on a new project. All in all, when it comes to selling your services, you must remember that there's a real person on the other side of the screen, and making a connection is your most valuable marketing tool. Send me an email at rlombardino@wordawareness.com or leave a voice message on my Anchor page. If I get enough feedback and voice messages, I can go back to the subject and post a special podcast episode with everyone's opinion on this very same theme. By the way, my Anchor page is anchor.fm/translation-confessional. I look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned for weekly episodes and subscribe to Translation Confessional through your favorite podcast app.